Hey everyone, it's Isaac Lee, founder and CEO of Contactic, your go-to contact for Korean e-commerce tactics. Now, I wanted to jump on here quickly because something really big happened today. Now, President Trump just announced universal tariffs. Now, that's a 10% base tariff on all countries and additional tariffs for countries that are currently placing high tariffs on US goods. Now, what does this mean for global trade? What does this mean for you and me, especially if you're a US-based brand or manufacturer that's selling worldwide? Surprisingly, I think this is fantastic news. Let me explain. Now think of each country like a person who is both a seller and a buyer. Let's say you're an apple farmer. Sure, you've got a lot of apples, but you still need other things like cheese, meat, or even milk. You sell your apples, earn money, and then use that money to buy whatever that you don't have. But now imagine that your biggest customer, which is the US. Now he says, I don't want your apples anymore. That should set off a lot of alarms. You see, the US wasn't buying from you because they can't grow apples. They just chose to focus on other things like tech, software, or services. But now they're saying, we'll just eat our own apples. And how do they make that happen? They make your apples more expensive through tariffs, which makes domestic apples cheaper to the local buyer. And that's how you start losing sales. Now the US says, but hey, if you reduce your tariffs on US goods, we'll do the same for you. Let's call it even. So now you're left with a choice. You can comply and regain access to your biggest customer, the US, or you can fight back and lose. And if I'm being brutally honest, by the looks of it, fighting back is basically choosing to stay poor. Now sure, countries apply tariffs to protect their local industries. I know that. No one wants their domestic apple farmers destroyed by ultra cheap foreign apples, right? But now imagine the reverse. What if we remove tariffs altogether on US goods and the US does the same for us? Now, the biggest customer in the world opens his wallet again. Not just for apples, but for everything else that you produce. Now suddenly, every country is competing to produce better products, improve quality, and serve each other well. This way, you get fair competition, fair prices, and a world driven by value. This is the stuff of a golden economic era. Now let's bring this back to you and what we do at Contactic. At Contactic, we specialize in helping global sellers, especially US-based brands, to enter the Korean market, particularly through Coupang, which is like Korea's version of Amazon. If Korea responds to Trump's new policy direction by lowering tariffs and easing import regulations, then this could be a once-in-a-generation opportunity for global sellers. Regulatory hurdles and tariffs have always been the biggest barriers for foreign sellers that are trying to enter Korea. But if both sides agree to ease those restrictions, boom! You now have access to one of the most dynamic, consumer-driven e-commerce markets, South Korea. And Contactic is here to help you every step of the way. So yeah, this is big, this is humongous, not just for the US, but for the entire world. We need fair trade. We need healthy competition. We need a new era of global commerce built on respect, merit, and mutual benefit. I believe that what happened today might just be the first spark that kicks off this revolution. If you're a US brand and you've been thinking about expanding globally, this is your moment. And if Korea is on your radar, you know who to contact. Oh, this is Isaac from Contactic. I'll see you in the next one.